and I'm half his age. But definitely he was throwing some good runs during practice, so very unfortunate the rain's here, so we can't really see that, you know, high intensity that they push out here. But yeah, the rains just continue. And here's another look at his run. Coming into outer zone 2, could have been a little deeper in outer zone 2, but that was the washout point for a lot of these cars right now. And then outer zone 3, leaving a little early, but feathering that throttle all the way through with the rumble strip, and then just committing all the way to outer zone 4 and almost over committing right at the finish. But outer zone 4 definitely could see a little bit more of that, but it's a lot of stuff, a lot of information you could take on for the next run. But he did score 71, so got something on the board and something to work on to improve for the next run for himself.
Yeah, it looks like a lot of the scores are becoming a little similar because of the commitment level, the first turn, the switchbacks, and I think right now the strong point to be able to get a high score on the board, you're probably going to have to, even with low commitment, you're going to have to try to run the outside line with as much angle as possible.
We got number 5, Tanaka in the V-style good ride with Tetsujin. Right there, nice little flick, but can he hold it off? Oh! Definitely had a lot going off the track. JZX 100 Chaser. And really pushing this car right now, which is coming into outer zone 4, finishing strong, but man, definitely pushing his car to its limits. And it's insane because his pit crew is probably like, chill out, because we just did a transmission swap on that.
Yeah, I honestly thought he was going to lose it. So that is high commitment right there. He did a reverse flick going into outside zone 1. Boom. Hardcore angle. Kept the car going. That was almost 3 tires off. Like I'd have to recheck that again. But that was a lot of tires off going off course on the second outer zone. But everything after that, too, he looks like he had a wild time out there in the wet. But a lot of commitment. We're going to have to go ahead and look at the score.
Definitely was pushing the limits of that car right there. But like I was saying, yes, his team actually had to come together, drop the trans, put a new one in because it actually malfunctioned on them with practice and everything. So, yeah, this course definitely was consuming some transmissions. Let's see what the point score is. Oh.
Yeah, let me go ahead and explain that to you again. I love the commitment, and that was a really wild run from him. But it looks like on the outside zone, too, he was pretty much 3 tires off. He went off-roading for a little bit, and we will not be able to give him a score for that. It's going to be an incomplete. I wish he kept it even at least 1 more tire on the track, or even 2 more tires. That would have been a pretty sick run. So hopefully on the second run, he'll be able to give us that excitement, but keep it on the track.
Yeah, same commitment that he gave, but maybe just a little less heat coming into that outer zone 2. But next on the line, we got number 38, Tadahiro Fukara in the Tanabe SSR Team Dunlop with Weld, 2J powered JZX 100 Mark II. Nothing new to him. I mean, he same car, same setup, so we're expecting good things.
Being a walk in the park, right?
But no, beautiful car overall. Has nice flash with the wheels for sure. We're coming into outer zone 1. Ooh, locking up a little bit to get to outer zone 2. And carrying through to outer zone 3, starting off early in outer zone 3 and trying to take all of outer zone 3 into this touch and go right here. Let's see if he can accelerate all the way through and hold it. The transition right there to outer zone 4. Definitely had a true focus for the zones. I mean, he was in them pretty well, but let me see the replay.
All right, so I have to say one thing, that not a whole lot of commitment here, but at the same time, very, very fluid, very smooth, not choppy. The car doesn't look like it wants to straighten out. Goes good side to side. pretty, it looks like he's filling outside zones pretty well. Right here too, very smooth, a little bit of wobble there, but it looks like he was trying to take angle out from the straight. But right here too, making a transition, going out to outside zone 4. So I would say that's a fairly good run from...
solid run, something to get on the scoreboards. Right now we're there, we got Yukio Fausto came in a little too much in the outer zone 2, but he's trying to get his practice run in. Definitely a fan favorite. I'm watching the live chat and it's nonstop. And that's one thing he told us he wanted to give out was a shout out to his Brazil fans out there.
Yeah, Brazil. That's what they wanted to hear.
Yeah, exactly. He's all about it. He loves your guys' love for him and he's trying to do it for y'all.
So right here, Fukada's score is at 84.
Not bad.
Hey, man, that was smooth as butter. I mean, that was a pretty smooth run.
Nice transitions, everything. You're right.
Yeah, the commitment level, like I said, is very hard to get it up because of the rain and wanting to throw the car super hard flicks. But at the same time, it looked like he had a good amount of angle when he was transitioning left to right, and very smooth.
Yeah. That's what it all comes down to, you know, playing it maybe a little safe, but, you know, getting a score on the board is very important at this point. Making it this far, you know, you got to put something on the board so you can come in a little bit more hot in the second qualifying run. Track crew just went out there, did a quick cleanup real quick. Fausto got a little wild in outer zone 2, so they had to get a little bit of the debris cleaned up. So let's see for these other guys to get their their check run in.
Sight lap, check run. High check run lap. Yeah, all kinds of words.
C run.
There you go. That is Ito in his JZX100 Chaser. Hirano Tire, Team Hirano Tire. Ito actually runs a drift car shop. Ito on service, yep, in Saitama. And after Ito, we got Amagai here. You might remember him.
Yeah, he had that sweet looking color, but he changed it up on us.
He changed it up on us. That was our favorite color, but he changed it up on it. But it's still green. Still green, a little bit more flashier, but right here.
We have Mizutani
yeah,
right there. Washed out a little bit in outer zone 2. Hopefully he can get out of there, but it looks like he might be a little stuck in that outside of outer zone 2. But yeah, back to Amagai with his color change. He actually did it for a good reasoning.
Yeah, he said it was for sponsors.
Yeah. FDF Super Lock or Lock Kit. So, still a cool looking color though. All right, good. Mizutani was able to get out of there and pull through, so. So it looks like that's going to be our next 4 drivers coming up. You got Fausto, Ito, Amagai, and Mizutani. Man, this rain's not making things easier for us. It's kind of dragging the time out a little bit more, and then on top of that, we're having, you know, water everywhere. Our sheets are completely soaked, so.
Yeah, and our screens are wet. Guys are constantly cleaning the screens off, and, you know, shout out to the guys out here working it in
making
the series.
This happen. Yeah,
the guys that are doing the audio stuff and the visual stuff, and, you know, the track workers. Everybody's just sitting out in the rain, picking up cones, cleaning the track. Thank you very much. And also, you guys out there watching us on live stream, thank you for tuning in. We are here live from Mie Prefecture, Suzuka Twin Circuit, Round 1 Formula Drift Japan 2021.
A little bit over halfway through our first round of qualifying. As you can see right now, we got number 555 Yukio Fausto in the sideways Experience Japan with S15.
Go Brazil!
Exactly. That's one thing I asked him. I was like, hey, so you got anything changed to your car or anything like that? He's like, no, but give a shout out to my people in Brazil. And I was like, I got you. And then all I see right now is just Brazilian flags, nonstop, nonstop, nonstop.
Okay, who can type the most Brazilian flags?
Oh, man.
It's going to be like,
exactly.
Yep, but This is a wild driver. We've been watching. He's been competing in Formula Drift Japan for the past couple of years. He has a very, very heavy foot when it comes to gas, and it's like usually a smoke screen.
I know, I was looking forward to that too.
Yep.
And then this rain started, and now it's like we have to be a little conservative on everything. So
thank you, Rain, for ruining it. But you know what? We're still watching drifting, and we're happy.
Exactly. It don't matter. He's gonna show us that flair, no matter what. He had a mean entry at his check run, but let's see what he's got right now. See if he can get it down.
Oh, he's really
coming
fast.
in, pushing through. Ooh! See, he does not upset. He wants to come in hot, and he wants to make it dynamic as ever.
Yep.
So very unfortunate. He is gonna not get a score for that one, but he's trying to represent straight up.
Yep.
He wants to make a statement. And last year he was trying to make his statement, but this year he wants to be heard, and I feel that he's going to be heard this year.
I agree, and same goes to all the other drivers that have actually been going off course and spinning out and stuff like that. They're trying to show you guys the best they can and running really hard, and they don't want to hold back, even if it's wet out there. So props to these guys running and making making runs. Guys who are getting scores and not getting scores. For the guys who hasn't scored yet today, good luck on your second run. May the best driver win.
Exactly.
Right? So qualify first, yeah?
But that's what makes it interesting, is this right here. Mother Nature make things interesting all the time.
Yeah, but they could have just,
Delayed.
maybe like 2-3 hours,
Maybe 2 or 3 days.
Yeah, exactly.
Man, Friday was beautiful here. Like, it was to the point where actually some of the crew members got a nice little face mask suntan going on, but...
Yeah, and I was loving it. I mean, it was a little bit more humid than I wanted it to be. We were kind of sticky at the end of the day, but it was a lot better than being soaked with rainwater.
So next we have number 93, Monkey Ito.
From Hirano Tire, driving his JZX 100 Chaser. Ito Auto Service is his shop, and he is a drifting veteran. He's been in various competitions as well.
They got that nice little renowned vented front bumper, something I like.
The Tron.
The Tron kit,
arrow.
yeah. They sell the Tron arrow kit, definitely. All right, coming in. Ooh, bringing some heat in here. Coming to outer zone 1, holding it through. Oh! Man.
If he would have pulled that off, that was pretty nice.
It was.
That was a lot of angle. If he could have held on to that, that would have been a pretty amazing entry.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, he did spin out. Hopefully, he can pull that off on. Look at that. Hopefully, he can pull that off on the second run.
Exactly. Driving in the rain is not something easy. All right, getting his tires warmed up. We got Yuichi Amagai in his perfect style with Good Ride, 2J powered S15. So like we said, y'all probably remembered him. He had like that dark OD green, military green look last year.
Green,
that olive green with the black livery. And this year he changed it up a little bit. Wanted to throw a little bit more shout outs to his sponsors. So he's got his lock kit by FDF.
It looks like it says Good Ride huge on the side, so he's on Good Ride tires.
So definitely a good color blend between the green, the Good Ride green, and then the FDF lock kit color. So
yeah, but this is he's becoming a veteran in FD Japan. And
he did say his driving was getting better too. So
yeah, and look at the car; it looks really, really aggressive. There you go.
Number 19 right there. I'm a guy.
Perfect stop.
Getting this green light right here. Hear this 2J engine right here, scream through here, coming into outer zone 1. Ooh, nice little tap of, and then taking out the pylon in outer zone 2. Let's go, keep pushing through. Drag it all the way out. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Coming in that push and go. And then doing a nice, let's see a hard flick right here to outer zone 4 and carrying it all the way through. Woo. During practice, remember all those cars that were washing out outer zone 4? It's just crazy how everything's flipping now. It's all at the beginning, but...
All right, so we would have to watch the replay. This flick right here, great entry, but he had to dip a tire out there. Went a little longer on outside zone 2. Outside zone 3, it looks like he is filling the zone really, or he left a little early, but right here... So this is the stretch part. This is the stretch part we were talking about.
That was that tough zone right there that Robbie was talking about early on, talking about the course setup, how that was going to be the area where it has to be a very defined straightening in order, you know, for it to really affect. So we're going to see what where they're coming up with, deliberating with one another to find out what comes of it. But yeah, coming off track right there in outer zone 2, at the end of outer zone 2, but being able to regain himself and get that confidence back to get into outer zone 3 is very much huge, or not defeat, but feat to actually win right there to get it. So let's see.
Yeah, so we are... The judges entered the scores, but I had to, as a style judge, I had to take that in consideration where everything else looked really, really good.
So we got 77.
He had a lot of angle, a lot of commitment coming out. One tire dip, I get that. The line judge will probably dock him for that. But after he came out of outside zone 3, he had to shallow up a lot. And I did not see that with the other drivers, even with lower power. So he shallowed up very, very early before he got into the touch and go where it's going to hurt him on the style score.
So you all saw it. It was a 77 for him. So Amagai got a 77. Next, we're going to go on to number 963, Daichi Mizutani. SR powered S15 right here, 2.2 liter. Ooh. Couldn't get to outer zone 2 right there. Definitely tried flicking real hard in the entry and kind of held back a little bit. And then same with outer zone 3. Couldn't fill outer zone 3 all the way at all, actually. Oh, and a huge correction right there. Huge correction right there coming from outer zone 3 up and approaching the touch and go. You'll see right here.
All right, this is where, I'm not going to say it's a perfect example, but I'm going to go ahead and explain that to you right here. Kind of a sloppy entry, and throughout the track, he is wobbly. And right here, he went out too early where he had to actually opposite drift after outside zone 3, which we will probably be incompleting that run. But the difference between what the car earlier did when they straightened out, or slightly straightened out, is they didn't straight. How can I say? It was like a connection.
It wasn't a huge correction, yeah.
Not a huge correction, but it was more like that was like an area where it's connecting from one turn to another. And Amagai did it a little earlier. Usually everybody does it a little later here, closer to the touch and go. But looks like you kind of have to play it off, I guess. But Mizutani did it way too obvious, and it did not look smooth. And also did an opposite drift right there on the straightaway, so we had to give him an incomplete.
That, and you know, his fluidity, he's just missing those outer zones. Like, he definitely wasn't committing to the zones at all, and he has a lot more coming for him, but it's definitely what he got a feel of what the course is laid out for him, especially with how wet it is. So we got our next, I believe, 4 drivers coming up, getting their check run in right now.
So that was Shuichi Mano in the Chatty Boy style with Vitor tire. Stamaji Mew, it's a long team name, but S13 1 Via. He knocked over, he lost his bumper, I think, on the first turn. And directly after him is Yatsuhiro Takaki. He is in his SR powered 180SX. He's squared with DGR. Good ride.
2.1 liter SR, and then right after him, we got 888 Kenji Yamada. Also an SR power right here, pushing through.
So he's with the Laudata Club Racing. You know what? I'm gonna have to ask him what the laudata is and what it means later. But
yeah, we'll have to get that for the
we'll tell you tomorrow.
viewers. And last but not least for this section, we got Yoshichika Tamagawa and his
Everybody's favorite car, JZA 80 Supra. He's with the Car Guy Racing with Kazama Auto Service. Now, these 4 drivers just did their sight lap, their check run, whatever you want to call it, because the practice we had was in the dry, and now these guys get 1 lap to fill out the track when it's wet. Harsh conditions. If you just joined us, it's not like they practiced all day in this. They just had 1 lap, 1 sight lap
right
to
there.
get through. And now you got to go into the corner going, what, like 70, 80 miles an hour or something? Maybe like 60, 70, 80 miles an hour, committing, making the car go sideways, and trying to hang out as much angle as possible. So that's really hard to do.
And you're going to get a nice view right here. You get 2 2J powered cars and 2 SR powered cars.
Comparison time.
Right here. Here you go. But first up is going to be 666. It's going to be Shuichi Imano. His car actually has got new livery this year. So last year was a little bit more blue, less of the white and everything. So come with a little bit of flair this year.
Yeah, I think we saw him shine a lot last year at the Okuibuki round, because I remember seeing him doing really, really well in that round too. So that does show that this driver and the team has potential. Seems like he's in more of a privateer team, but let's see what he's got for us out here in the wet.
Nice, clean, simple 2J he's got under the hood. Coming into outer zone 1. Holding that e-brake really long to come into outer zone 2. Really sweeping just with the e-brake in outer zone 2. See if he can make up for it right here, but zone 3 right there, he was not able to get into outer zone 3 and trying to hold it all the way through the touch and go, flicking back around to outer zone 4. But man, really utilizing that e-brake right there.
All right, so that looked cool with a lot of angle, but that was kind of a major stall coming out of outside zone 2. We have to take that in consideration, where if there was a car behind him, he would have to slow down so much. If he was able to carry a little bit more speed through there on outside, or where outside zone 2 is right there, it's almost a half spin. He made it go, but I'm gonna have to dock him for the style judge side of it. Kind of choppy here and there, yeah.
Outer zone 3 definitely was kind of shallow on that. Push into the touch and go, coming back around. And then just trying to, he could have got a little bit more into outer zone 4, but where the conditions are, definitely getting a score down and getting a run in is what we were talking about throughout this whole day. So see what the judges have for him.
Yeah, so for those of you who are tuning in right now for the qualify, you do have to know that we have to watch these cars as they are the lead cars if there was a car behind them too. So we have to score them accordingly. So if the car isn't smooth, if it's unpredictable, like right now, if there's a lot of, how can I say it? The car stalling and stuff like that, which could cause the car chasing to mess up, that's actually going to hurt your score as a qualifier run as well.
So there you go, 67 right there. Scores on the board, but that's on the lower half right now. But definitely good to have a score in right now because there's been a lot of incompletes.
Exactly, and the guys that are sitting on the incompletes right now for the first qualifying run, they're going to have to give it their all for the second, because either they have to get a higher score than whoever it is to make it into 32 and not get a 0.
Exactly.
Again, you know.
So next we have number 13, Yasuhiro Takaki in the T-Square with DGR Good Ride. And he's in a 180SX, and this is one of the SR cars out of the line that's pushed out. Got a 2.1 liter under the hood. But man, it sounds pretty mean coming into outer zone 1. See if you can push it out to outer zone 2, but definitely lost outer zone 2 completely. But trying to make it up with outer zone 3, trying to collect as much as he can out of outer zone 3, and then into this touch and go right here. But, ooh, had to do a quick straighten correction right there. The commitment level right there definitely could have been a little bit more aggressive. Not only hitting the zones, but like you were talking before, if you lose your line of sight, your whole entire run of the track is going to be thrown off. So right off the start right there, you saw how outer zone 2 definitely wasn't in it. Couldn't get enough into outer zone 3 right there, and then had too much angle coming out of zone 3, and then having to straighten up right there to the touch and go. So let's see there. Deliberating on the score right here, if it's going to be an incomplete or throwing some numbers down.
All right, I'm gonna have to go ahead and explain that in a minute when the score comes out. But yeah, there was a couple of things that happened during this run. I think for the line, angle, and style point of view, it looked like he totally missed outside zone 2, and since he missed outer zone 2, he was on a wrong line where he went into outer zone 3, made him bubble out all the way past outside zone 3. After he went through outside zone 3, he took it too wide, where he had to run a little straight in front of the judging stand. Now, we're not going to be giving incompletes out for cars that are slightly driving straight through this long stretch we have here, but definitely that was a little bit longer than we were expecting it to be. So we're not going to give him an incomplete for that, because we are allowing that here because of this special area. But at the same time, we cannot give him a high score on that, because that's an ability that all the other drivers were able to do, and he couldn't do it here. Yeah. So he ended up with a 58. But you know what? He does have a score up there. So
he does have a score for sure. But like you were talking about earlier too, you got to put into consideration if he is the lead run there. So, you know, having that commitment, hitting those zones is definitely going to play part whenever it comes to the tandem rounds for tomorrow. All right, next we have 888. It's going to be Kenji Yamada, also another SR, part of this batch of SRs right here. 2.1 liter. He's going to push out here, coming in to the 3-2-1, take it a little wide right there, and then conservative flick right there, coming into outer zone 2, riding around into outer zone 3, starting out early, leaving a little bit early, but not too bad, pushing through. Trying to keep that camera all the way through the touch and go, where they transition into outer zone 4.
Wow, definitely a lot of commitment and also fluid. So let's go ahead and check this out one more time. He looked like he missed outside zone 1 halfway through. A little bit of a late initiation because of the reverse flick, knocked over one of those cones, but tried to fill outside zone 2, but a little bit late there too. Tried to fill outside zone 3 as well, left a little early, but right here made it through, went through the touch and go.
I think
and
almost
the transition right there.
Almost sacrificing right there at outer zone 3 what he did, set him up to be able to hit that touch and go. So he was very conservative in that part to get something down where he wouldn't straighten up and get an incomplete. So definitely smart on the driver. The driver did get a good understanding of the track and what he needed to do, throw a decent score out. So let's see what the judges have to say. Hopefully it's a decent score and I'm not just kind of making things up as I go. .78, so right in the pack, right in the middle of the pack right now, so not too bad for Yamada. So next we have up at the line is going to be number 125, Yoshichika Tamagawa, in his JZA 80 Supra. Was here last year. He's going to throw down right here. See what this 2J's got. Coming in a little bit shallow in the outer zone 1, and then getting a little dip down to the outer zone 2 at the back in the outer zone 2, but sweeping all the way through outer zone 3, trying to hold it all the way through, hitting the touch and go. Nice hold through the touch and go, and let's see if he can finish strong right here with outer zone 4 and holding it all the way through to the finish. So even the trip up right there on outer zone 2, he was able to fill all of outer zone 3, like get it all back together and collect himself. So let's see right here on the replay.
Yeah, I think that's from like the balance of the car and the power, and so all that put together. He did miss outside zone 1 as line. He hit outside zone 2 late, right there. It almost looks like a straightening, but he yanked on the e-brake to keep the car going sideways. Everything after that right here looks good. Flicks back pretty hard. Takes the car all the way to the outside zone 4.
So all the judges get it all together. We got Jin Horino coming in for his sight run. He's with Good Ride Team Tops Racing with Project Mu. Here's a little overview from one of our drones. Next is Shinji Minoa coming in with Heyman, TM Labo, and Sailun Tires. He definitely changed the livery off from last year.
Yeah, it was like went from black to white.
I know,
totally different
huge
opposite,
change.
yeah.
Huge. But see, even last year, woo, ripping through. And Hayashi coming through for his check run. And after that, we're going to have Katsuhito Ueo right after him. And Ueo definitely coming with, it sounds the same, but definitely a different look.
Tamagawa earlier with the Supra, he got a 75. So he got a score on the board.
So Tamagawa got a 75 out of that last batch of 4 cars for running, so not bad. Definitely 70s is like the middle, I guess.
Yeah, it's a middle
pack.
spot, yeah.
So,
but man, it looks like the rain is coming down again. And you know what? To be honest, I guess it's better for it to be full wet than it being splotchy.
No, look in the horizon.
Oh,
I see clear
sunlight.
I see sunlight and clear skies in the horizon.
Well,
so hey, maybe the second
round we'll get a dry run. You never know.
Yes, let's go.
But for now, to finish off the next,
we got number 17, Jin Horino.
We have about 7 more cars, so let's keep the rain coming for the next 7 cars. Keep it wet. Maybe we'll go on a short break after that, and it's going to dry up, and everybody could drive with all that smoke and excitement, you know. But you know what?
Tires back up.
With our luck, I don't know about that.
I know. Somebody was commenting earlier, they're like, man, it seems like it's been raining a lot. Like every drift event's been rain. I was like,
Hey, I got to tell you one thing. I've been to a few car events this year. Or actually, we just had an MSC here a couple weeks ago, and that was beautiful weather.
It was.
It was nice. It was, yeah, couldn't ask for any more.
But the track setup was the old way, so
the old way, yeah.
It's not
different. Yeah, a little different.
Yeah. So it looks like number 17, Jin Horino's ready and at the start line in his Good Ride Team Tops Racing with Project Mu, Tops S15 right here. So let's see what he's going to throw down right here. He definitely tested the track on his check run and threw it pretty hard, so we'll see what he's going to adjust from his check run till now. So it looks like he got a good amount in outer zone 1, but kind of gave up a little bit of his angle there. And then sweeping back around to outer zone 3. Let's see if he can hold it right here all the way through. Pushing all the way through, trying to keep it at an angle to the touch and go. And whipping back around for outer zone 4. I'm just shaking my head. The fluidity was kind of like, you know, here and there. Let's see what the replay looks like.
Yeah, not as smooth as we would want it to be, and not so much of a Looks like he was running a good line right there, but the commitment level, he had to slow down a lot and wait for the car to hook up, going through outside zone 2. Kind of wobbly going through here, right there. Missed the touch and go to the transition, and looked like he pretty much filled outside zone 4 okay.
So definitely will throw a score up. So it's actually looking a lot better right now. We're getting more scores pushed through and less incompletes. I feel like, you know, them watching all the other drivers off that nice big old Tundra Jumbotron over there, they're able to get a little understanding of how the track's operating for a lot of these other guys' cars. So definitely feeding off of each other's runs to understand what they're kind of driving into.
ちょっとね、アウト側にはらんでいったんですよね。その分ちょっと苦しくなってきた。でもなんとか届きました。こちらの方はね、達成できませんでしたけど。
Definitely a challenging course, though. Let's see what score 76. So middle of the pack still. I'll have to get some scores together to figure out how everything's panning out. Right now, we obviously remember the brand new debut Liberty Walk S15 by Hibino, his amazing 90, what was it, 94?
Yeah, that was like, came out of like right field or left field or I don't know what field, but.
So we all know that's number one right now, but after that it kind of trickles down to, I think the next is an 83 or in the mid 80s, so.
Yeah,
definitely a huge gap from number 1 to number 2.
Yeah, as of now, I mean, I think nobody has anything to complain to see that run with that high of a score because I think that was well deserved.
It was. So next we have number 90, Shinji Mino, like we were talking before, huge different livery thrown on, new tires, he's got the Simon tires, which is awesome. Heyman, Team Heyman with TM Labo. But he
spins
out. Other than that, the car's pretty much the same, but just has a different, it has a facelift, I guess you could say.
You know, that was funny though, because the sight lap he made was actually halfway decent.
I know.
And I was like, oh, okay. And this is a long, or he's a, you know, veteran that's been driving for a while, so even a driver like this gets confused with this weather. So hopefully he'll get a score for his second run.
And I messed it up again. It's TM Labo. Why do I keep saying Lambo?
You said it again?
See, you didn't catch me. See, I threw myself under the bus instead of giving you fuel to throw me under the bus. So I apologize. It's TM Labo.
I'm not even going to point anything out this year. I'm just going to let you ride through and let everybody catch you. So if you guys hear any flaws from Kenny over here, go ahead and give him a shout out and be like, yo, Kenny, I think you're wrong, dude. And me too. And me too.
So next,
now you're being quiet.
I know. Back to business. Number 61, Kazuki Hayashi at the line right now.
Good line works team. This is I think this is not the car that he piloted last year. I think there's a different driver that drove it last year. This year they're going to give you something for next year.
There you go. 2J powered S15 coming through, throwing it real hard with this like reverse entry, but couldn't hold it all the way through. Coming into outer zone 1, getting a feel of the rest of the track right here, pushing through to the touch and go. And finishing off into outer zone 4 right there. So
yeah, I know he tried, and you know, I'd like to thank him for trying, but we're probably not going to be able to score that run because of the half spin that he had right in front.
Almost came to a stop right there.
Exactly right here. He tried to play it off because it was like, hey, I was drifting, but that is
definitely not somebody can follow
no
a reverse entry like that.
We can't. Unfortunately, we can't. Most likely, we're going to have to give him incomplete for that. There you go.
Unfortunately, Hayashi got incomplete, but like you said, it's a different car that he's piloting this year, so hopefully he'll come back with some good heat. So next coming up is going to be Katsuhiro Ueo in the number 15 180SX powered by a VR38. So this is nothing new to him. Last year he was operating his S15 VR38.
And I guess something was up with the car, so he had to bring this car instead of the S15. I thought he was going to be driving this year, or this year, but you never know. You know, maybe he gets good results and he likes the car. Maybe he'll start competing in this one instead of the S15.
So the Valino tire, 180SX, this mean VR38 under the hood. You'll hear it right here. Once it comes through this touch and go, you're going to hear it screaming. Ooh, not letting anything go. Pushing through to outer zone 1 to outer zone 2. Definitely came off the throttle, but right back into the throttle to outer zone 3. And here it is right here. Makes your chest rumble coming through to outer zone 4. And finishing off right there.
I thought he was going to go off a little bit more on outside zone 2. There was that much commitment when he made the initiation.
That initial flick right
going
there.
Through outside zone 1. Let's go ahead and check this out again. Look at this. He's trying to catch a lot of speed to get into outside zone 1. Fills outside zone 1. Nice angle. Barely dips the tire right there. Knocks over the cone. But he looks like he's still within the track. Look at that. Maybe
All
one
the way
tire
on
off
there.
over there. But hey, that's a lot of commitment and a lot of gas.
Yeah, that's a lot of commitment of zone clearance.
Barely goes through the touch and go. But definitely, I would have to say, very smooth for how much commitment he has in this weather.
I should have taken off my headphones and thrown it closer. Thing was loud. So while the judges get the scores together, we got the next back coming through, which is going to be Andrew Gray, Kazumi Takahashi, and Koichi Yamashita. So these three individuals right here were our number 1, 2, and 3. So you had Koichi Yamashita last year getting a 280 overall, Kazumi Takahashi with a 274, and then Andrew Gray coming up in third at 267. We were very unfortunate we couldn't finish off strong at Suzuka Twin last year and had to cut it short due to COVID and couldn't give the proper respects to these individuals right here for getting 1, 2, and 3. But man, they did an amazing job last year in the 2020 season, even though how rough it is. But there you go right there. Katsuhiro Ueo with the 88 right there.
That was a pretty
Throwing
awesome
down.
run. I think dipping the tire here and there and, you know, lacking a little bit of the angle here and there definitely hurt his score. But I think 88 in this condition is, you know.
I think he's like our number 2 right now.
Yeah,
if I'm not
that's
mistaken.
an amazing
So definitely a good run. But we expect nothing less from him. Last year, he was just always bringing in heat. He was always coming in hot. He was always making crazy angle and crazy noise. So don't expect anything less out of him.
Yeah, definitely wish it was dry out right now. But you know what? We're about to finish off the first qualifier run for all these drivers. Everybody's equal condition. Everybody's wet, driving in the wet. I don't know if they're wet, but most likely their socks are at least soaked because they got to stand around in the rain maybe. But here is Andrew Gray. He is a 4-time Formula Drift champion. Last year he debuted this RC, and look at this. He came in 3rd place even though we were 1 round short.
He was right there. The points were so close.
There. Yeah, he was really close. But then this is, think about it. This is a brand new build for them. Brand new a car, not so familiar chassis to everybody in the drift
different
world.
chassis, yes, for sure.
And he made it all the way and got 3rd place. So, I mean, that is like something to
So
hold your head
go.
up high. So here we go.
The Team Kazuma with Power Vehicles 2J powered RC right here. He definitely told me to throw a shout out to his wife. She unfortunately couldn't make it out here and support him. She's pregnant right now, so congratulations to them. But look at him showing out right here, pushing through. Let's go to the touch and go, throttle through. There you go, coming into outer zone 4. Hold it on. There you go.
All right. Tell you the truth, very exciting run, but looks like he is taking it a little easy, but I won't blame him because it's wet. but it looks like he is running, filling the zones correctly and doing what he has to do. Looks like he hung on to outside zone 3 a little bit too long, where he gets washed out over here a little bit too wide, but he does go into the touch and go a little bit. Good enough flick to go to the outside zone 4. So very fluid and very good run from Andrew Gray.
Throttling through right there. Nothing new to him. You heard him in the interview. He said one of the biggest challenges is going to be the weather itself and understanding the track, but everybody being on the same playing field at this point. They all haven't been able to run on this wet track. They've been doing a dry track from yesterday to today, so overall, not a bad run by Andy right there.
Yep, and like you just said earlier, as he was driving, shout out to Emily and Finley. His family is back home, and she is pregnant with their baby boy that's going to be coming into this world a little later this year. That's why she couldn't make it out here, but I'm pretty sure they are cheering him on at home too. There you go.
85.
See, there you go. First run from 4-time champion Andrew Gray gets an 85-point score. Look at that, like the line judge gave him a fairly high score as well, because he did fill in the zones. He did what he had to do, and he did enough of it to get himself into a higher spot in the top 32 ladder. And the next driver up
is number 36, Kazumi Takahashi in the TMS Racing Team Silent Tires BMW E92, powered by 1GR.
That's the droopy car.
Droopy car. They were, unfortunately, they couldn't make it.
Oh, it looks like I saw white smoke at the entry.
Oh, let's hope it's not. Keep pushing through. He's trying to push the car, making it happen. Coming to outer zone 3. See if he can hold it all the way through. In the touch and go to outer zone 4. It seemed like he just really pushed a very safe run there. Like
Man, right now it's tricky because I just saw poof, white smoke at the outside zone 1 as he went through of it. So check this out. I'm pretty sure it's probably dry there. There you go. See, there you go. Oh man, that must be a very hard initiation to do, but it looks like he was able to pull that off, even with the
that dry
slight
spot
change.
right there, yeah.
Slight change in course condition right there, but a very fluid run by Kazumi Takahashi. Here we go. We got a drone footage right there.
Coming around right here. Nice little poof smoke right there. But you can see how that huge degree of angle right there in outer zone 2 is very challenging, and a lot of them are washing out from it. Trying to carry that drift from outer zone 1 to outer zone 2, sweeping all the way around. And then right there, that 90 degree I was talking about, it's probably a little bit more extreme than that, but to that last outer zone 4. Judges are putting their scores in.
I think that was as a style judge, yeah, that was a pretty smooth
86 right there.
Run by Takahashi.
86, solid run right there. So top scores. So last but not least for our first round of qualifying is number 8, Koichi Yamashita. He was actually our points lead and our champion last year for 2020 with Team Weld.
Same car, but
man, look at this wide body look. So this wide body right here is actually a new kit that they just pushed out. Hasn't hit production yet, but they wanted to show it, debut it out here, but gives it an aggressive look. Last year he was running no rear bumper. This year he's got the rear bumper with the wide kit in the rear, so awesome look. Hopefully they'll get better shots of it during the drive. Man, ripping through that touch and go to outer zone 4 right here. You know, he wasn't the champ last year for no reason right there, shows.
And his nickname's Champ too. Isn't that funny? And this is from a long time ago when he used to drive A86s, and he was like the champion of the A86 competition that they have. But right here, very similar style of driving here from Takahashi, but I didn't see a white smoke puff right there. But I'm pretty sure that the track condition is changing as he is driving. But the veteran here says, you know what, I have experience from driving all kinds of conditions. So he makes it look really easy.
I'll make it happen.
So very fluid run, good enough amount of commitment, very smooth. So we'll see what the other judges have to say.
Here you go, nice drone footage right here. Hitting that outer zone 1 from the start. Sweeping all the way around to outer zone 2. Man, filling all of outer zone 1 and 2 right there. Transitioning back to outer zone 3. A little short there, but still being able to be in all of outer zone 3 and then just pushing through on this touch and go. That touch and go, look how long that is. Like that's the challenge for them right now. And then finally getting into outer zone 4. So gonna be a pretty good score. Got a lot of random mid 80s, low 90s score estimates. Everybody's guessing. So let's see. There's his team anticipating the score right now. $85 right there. So kind of like in the top middle of the pack. So definitely top 10 at top 5, top 10 right now with the scores.
Yeah, it looked like he was lacking a little bit on angle compared to the past couple of drivers. But having an 85 point in a condition like this, because I think the later it became, because it's starting to dry up, it's probably harder and harder. So he had to probably drive under maybe a slightly harder condition than the past couple of cars. But getting 85 in this condition, I think it's good enough. It's well done run.
Good run to put in the books. So next we're going to be going to the commercial break. Stay tuned because we're going to come into the round 2 of the qualifying. So stay tuned, check out these new commercials, and we'll be right back.
A のタイヤなら雨でもしっかり止まれて高い安全性を発揮。滑りやすい濡れた路面でもより安心やる。横浜革新のカーボンベゼル。Bluetooth 搭載 G-SHOCK カシオ。
Made in Japan. Breed.
What's up, guys? It's Frederick Ospo, and I use RSR suspension on all my drift cars. I love RSR. Iyo RSR Ichiban.
伝統と革新小倉クラッチのテクノロジーを凝縮チャンピオンを取るためのクラッチ小倉レーシングクラッチ ORC
Motis. The brightness, called brilliant, blinding and vivid, Valentine.
ねえねえ、雨の日の運転ってちょっぴり心配だよね。いざという時にちゃんと止まれるタイヤ、ウェット A。 ウェット A。
ウェットグリップ性能 A のタイヤなら雨でもしっかり止まれて高い安全性を発揮。滑りやすい濡れた路面でもより
安心やる。
横浜革新のカーボンベゼル。Bluetooth 搭載 G-SHOCK カシオ。Made in Japan. Breed.
What's up, guys? It's Frederick Ospo, and I use RSR suspension on all my drift cars. I love RSR. EO RSR Ichiban.
伝統と革新、小倉クラッチのテクノロジーを凝縮、チャンピオンを取るためのクラッチ、小倉レーシングクラッチ ORC。
モティー。 The brightness, called brilliant, blinding and vivid, Valentine.
Hey, welcome back to the G-SHOCK Presents Formula Drift Japan 2021 season, round one here at Suzuka Twin Circuit in the Mie Prefecture. Once again, I'm the host, Kenny Harris. Alongside me is judge, translator, and commentator, man with many skills, Robbie Nishida.
Hi guys. No. Not many skills, just like two.
There you go. But hey, I'm watching the feed, and man, I appreciate y'all out there staying up late, sticking with us live. I know you can watch this later on if you want, but y'all are out there fighting through the times. and sticking with us.
Yeah.
And guess what else is not sticking with us? The rain.
The rain, exactly.
I said it too,
Look
but
at
hey,
this.
I knocked on wood, so we're good. But yeah, definitely in the distance you could see kind of some clear skies out there. So right now it looks like there's a little bit of patches out there of a little bit of dry spots. So hopefully we can see better runs for round 2 of qualifying.
Yeah, but this is going to be a lot harder than full wet for these drivers because it's going to be very unpredictable, and they're going to have to just go for it and feel for it as they are driving through the track. So good luck to the drivers.
So first off is going to be number 720, Masafumi Watanabe, in the LOVCA. Team TCS, Boone, Factory 23, and couldn't hold that through right there. Like we were saying, this JZX 110 right here, this Mark II, is a brand new build for them. Debuting it out today. Definitely not the best conditions to be debuting it, but you know, tried to give you what you want to see, throw some flick there, and came in a little too hard and spun out. So it's very unfortunate. It's a vehicle that he's going to have to learn a little bit more about, and hopefully we'll see better results.
Yeah, and like I said earlier, it's just unpredictable because it looked like the last few runs that we saw on the first qualifying run, which was probably about 15 minutes ago or 20 minutes ago or so, I saw like a poof of white smoke when they're initiating, so definitely it's probably dry out there, so you're going to have to actually commit to make the car slide. Then as soon as you come over the patch of wetness, the car's going to be slipping, sliding, and it looks like Watanabe misjudged on how much he could flick on the entry and did spin out. He unfortunately will be going home this weekend because he did get 2 incompletes in a row. So hopefully he has a better luck next time. Like you said, brand new build, not familiar with how the car is going to handle. It's kind of a surprise attack, so he should be able to take on anything after this weekend because he came in with a brand new car, a little bit of practice,
A day late,
rain,
so, I mean,
and then this half wet, half rain, crappy condition and track conditions. So we'll see. But here we have Shigehisa Sasayama, car number 330 with Team M2 Racing in his JZX 100 Chaser. He also is sitting on an incomplete, so he definitely has to get a score for the second run.
See what he's going to give us right here.
What is he giving us?
Oh, no, a complete. He's going to give us a score, that's for sure.
There we go.
Coming into the 3-2-1, entering into the outer zone 1 right here. Good clean approach to outer zone 1 to outer zone 2. Back bumper's barely hanging on right now to outer zone 3. Carrying all the way through. Trying to push through this. Oh my goodness. Everything looked good up until coming out of outer zone 3 and hitting that touch and go strip right there. And somebody did comment earlier, they're like, oh, it should be a lot easier pushing through with the rain and everything. And you're right, it technically should, but losing all that momentum, they're coming into outer zone 3 and then trying to get through and hold a drift all the way through. I mean, that's a challenge of its own right there.
Yeah, so right here, it looked really good up until this here outside zone 3. He took a very shallow line and the car washed out right here where you really, really don't want to be. You definitely don't want to be there, which made the car correct, and he almost opposite drifted coming down the straightaway, trying to get to the touch and go, but man, I have nothing to say. That was a big no-no by Sasayama.
So it's very unfortunate.
Yeah, because I think the first half of the track is kind of drying out, and that probably gave him a little bit more confidence coming through the outside zone 3, and probably didn't think the outside zone 3 was going to be that slippery, where he washed out a lot, caused him to straighten out really hard in front of the judging stand, and there he goes, 2 incompletes in a row. That's it for his weekend, and hopefully we will see him back strong next round.
So next we have number 4, Tetsuya Ibino in the Liberty Walk S15.
4-rotor twin turbo, and his run earlier was awesome. Let's see what he's going to do.
Pretty hot right here. Ooh, taking out both pylons, coming through, missing a little bit of outer zone 2. but not stopping him here, trying to flick it back around to outer zone 3, riding all the way on the outside port of outer zone 3, and here you go. Here's the rumble on the forwarder. Oh, man. I'm going to have to wear hearing protection tomorrow.
All right, once again, even with this hard track condition, he kind of came in and threw it in hard. And what I love about his run is he's high angle all the time. He tries to go lock to lock. Look at here, flicking the car, knocking over the cones. He does miss outside zone 2, barely makes it into the end of the outside zone 2. But look at here,
all of it. Makes up for it.
Full outside zone 3 line. Angle going all the way through the touch and go, makes it all the way outside to the touch and go, gains more angle going into the transition, going to the outside zone 4. But I think he's got this track down. I mean,
no, not
I
the track. He's got the car down.
He's got the car
down.
For
a brand new build, brand new car, debuting just a few weeks ago, it's like, it's insane. And obviously you can hear through my mic how loud it is. There's this team right there, checking them out from the side. Definitely threw some good, should have a good score. He's got to be very impressed with the car and the understanding of it. There you go, 92. Man, both 90s right there.
Very impressive run. A little bit less of a commitment level there from the style judge, but definitely good enough, especially under this condition. This track condition is very hard to drive through here, but very, very high angle. Like he almost got a full score for his angle as well. So that was a pretty killer run.
And that Liberty Walk kid just taking the hits from those pylons. Nothing phasing it right there.
Man, we have a threat to the championship right here, it seems like, because this driver is going for it from round 1. So as of right now, he is standing first place. Earlier, like he said,
路面がちょっとまだらなってて繰り出しにくい部分とアクセル踏んでも前進まない部分とすごく今コンディションが難しいと思う。たまたま走れただけなんでみんなもっとこう難しいと思った方がいいんですよ。難しい。でもよかった。
He just did it really well, but he was telling us right now that the track condition right now was really, really hard. But he still got a 92.
I know. He's piloting the right car, that's for sure. Man.
Oh yeah, that was definitely an impressive run by Hibino.
So next, like we were saying before, is another new car, number 25, Masataka Kawashima in the Team M2 Racing A90 Supra. And like I was saying before, he actually debuted this for his D1 performance and actually has a car that he's building for. But wasn't able to make it to this round, so now he went ahead and pushed off and brought his A90 out. His next car is definitely going to be a unique one, different, and probably the only one in the series, so that's the only clues I'll give you, but it's going to be a pretty sweet car that he debuts. But even this Supra was pushed out pretty fast, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it was like not even 3 months in the build. And I think a lot of it is because I know a lot of the guys, the foreign drivers and teams probably know too, but because of COVID, a lot of the production for parts and stuff like that has been late and has been pushed back.
Oh, yeah.
So they can't get the parts in, even the readily parts that we have normally
Japan,
previously. Yeah, if we have parts coming in from, foreign countries, they couldn't get it on time, so it made it really hard for the car to make deadlines and stuff like that. So
that all makes sense, but man, to push a car out that fast, that's not bad at all. Hopefully he gets his other car out here. Like I was saying, it's a very unique ride, so excited for that. Let's see. Here we are. We're 4 cars into our round 2 of qualifying. Just joining us, the track's drying up a little bit, so it's a lot more challenging for these drivers. They're not just dealing with a wet track. They have dry spots along the way, so definitely trying to hold their car into a drift is going to be challenging for them. But trying to get a feel for it, and we'll see what they can do. To outer zone 1 right here, 3-2-1. Barely got into outer zone 1 and outer zone 2. Kind of took a real shallow approach to both of them. See if he can make up for it right here in outer zone 3, but once again, not quite in all the way in that zone. And then right here in the outer zone 4 finishing off. So yeah, the line on that was definitely real shallow in all zones, and then here in the straight, well not straight, but the straight section where the touch and go is kind of had to do a little extra flick to it. Let's see this replay right here for him. Coming in, 3-2-1. Wasn't quite in all the way in that zone. Totally missed outer zone 2. And then outer zone 3, just like outer zone 2. Didn't commit at all to outer zone 3, and then right here is where it really matters. Oh, made a hiccup right there. And then outer zone 4. So like we were saying, if you saw his run before till now, those dry patches right there definitely throwing these drivers off, especially how hard they can commit to these zones and everything. Yeah, you got Robbie over here. Like I said, he's triple hatting it, so he's got to take care of business at the same time. Chime in when he can.
All right, so yeah, definitely a shallow line throughout the track, and very low commitment throughout the track too. But what I want to bring up as well is when he was leaving outside zone 3, he did take it a lot wider, and then he had to run a pretty straight line in front of the judging stand, and we did give an exception where if you had to straighten out to connect the outside zone 3 all the way to the touch and go, we're going to kind of allow that a little, but at the same time it was pretty severe, so we had to definitely dock him from the style points as well. So
okay. So next we have number 30. Oh, next we have so we got a 72. So definitely got some points on the score. Kind of on the lower end of everything, but not bad.
This guy made everything all the way to the finish line.
Exactly. So let's see if we can connect that last part. But like we said, the track is drying up. Oh, no, no, no. That's not what we want. Let's finish off strong right here. Very, very unfortunate. We'll see that the replay at what point.
Man, I have to say that his first run was pretty good up until he spun out at the finish line. And
it's almost frustrating.
Yeah, it's frustrating that we can't give him a score. We have to incomplete that because rules are rules, you know. We have to draw the line somewhere. Hoping that he was able to do what he did for his first run here on the second run, but unfortunately he did have a big, huge correction after outside zone 2. It was like a half spin, and man, like, oh man, you know.
But he said this is going to be his first full season, so we're going to see him round 2.
Yeah, we'll be. I'm expecting a lot of big things from him.
Exactly. Very nice JZX 100 Mark II right there. But next up is going to be number 73. Ikuo Saito in the West Auto with Good Ride JZX 100 Chaser. Last year off, and we were saying just getting things together and everything, and now he's back at it. So we'll see what he's going to push for us. Coming into outer zone 3, wasn't quite in it, and then kind of came out a little high there out of outer zone 3 in the rumble strip to outer zone 4, and then
Man,
completely.
He really had to power through that, but you know what?
You see where it
he
gripped
did make
right
it
there?
work.
That outer zone 4 was just rough.
Oh no, he came in way too shallow coming from the touch and go area, this stretch that he had. So he had to go on the inside. So that doesn't give the car any momentum to switch back to the outside zone 4. And he had a small line there. But you know what? He didn't incomplete it because he did incomplete his first run. So we will see what he gets. Look at this. He just romped on the gas and on the rev limiter right there.
Just didn't quite commit to that flick at the end. See what the scores are as the wind blows all my stuff around. Nice view of the pits right there. Let's see, there you go, 67 for him.
Yep, so you got a score, which is a lot better than the incomplete, but definitely not the cleanest run from him. Kind of sloppy and also missing a lot of the zones and yeah, the line. He had to run what he had to run, but you know what? He did make it and got a score for tomorrow. Let's see where that's going to place him.
Next, we have number 219. Suita in the Walker with 5X tires in the Sunoco C33 Laurel. Definitely has that aggressive, boxy look, 90s boxy look to it. Coming around, pulling it off, trying to keep it through. Trying to save himself right there. Coming into outer zone 4 right here. And yeah, definitely didn't flick it quite into outer zone 4 right at the finish. See this replay. Here he is right here in the outer zone 1. Not quite getting into outer zone 2 at all. Definitely taken away to come into outer zone 3. Getting a little bumper action outer zone 3, but right here, just trying to hold it. And then coming into outer zone 4, not being able to hit that zone. I'll give you this. I like the blend of cars we have this year, so it's awesome seeing different models out here instead of just, you know, the basics that we're used to seeing. So it's definitely good to see these different changes. Robbie's getting with the other talking, so let's see what they're going to come with. But yeah, as you can tell right now, we still have the overcast skies, but see those patches out there coming into outer zone 1 in the 3-2-1 section? That's definitely going to play a rough spot for these drivers. Well, let's see. Making sure all judges get their view of what happened. But yeah, let's hope for better weather for tomorrow too during competition, because man, this wet rain, wet track is not anything nice for tandem battles. Especially with coming out of outer zone 3 into this long stretch. Any type of correction is going to cause the chase driver to kind of throw him off balance there. There you go, another view of the pits. So the pits are actually located where outer zone 1 was for the old track layout. As you could tell right there, so there's the chicane right there, the green cones. Behind there is pretty much the rest of it. So what you got there, Robbie?
All right, so we had to discuss this real quick, but I think we were all pretty much on the same page. Let me go ahead and wait for the scores to come up for that run. But here you go, Hidehiko Sugita he gets a 0 here, and the reason why he got a 0 was there was far too many mistakes. He slowed down a lot after outside zone 2, and the slowdown was very severe. And even after that, outside zone 3, it took him forever to get out of that zone and coming through this turn, which was a major slowdown. And he also did a slight straight here. So adding everything together, overall, that was probably a unchaseable lead run.
Exactly,
And
just like you were saying. Ultimately, they're trying to lay down that lead run so then they can have a chase follow.
yeah,
so.
because we always have to have in mind where if there was a car behind him, what can the car do? That was a major speed change. He slowed down a little bit too much and couldn't dig himself out of it as much. So that's the decision we made.
Definitely a nice car. Like I said, definitely nice seeing different cars out here, and to see a C33 right there come out, perform with his RB-powered Nissan. It's unfortunate to see him get a 0.
Here you go, right here. Too much angle. The car was not going anywhere. Barely made it and made a transition. And what I want to go ahead and show you is right here. Almost spun, saved it, but he just driving through there with very, very low speed. And obviously we don't look for speed, but we do have to see the pace. And there was a big, huge drop in pace, and also the slightly straightening too. So it was almost like a combination of things where we just have to call it unchaseable, because it would be really hard for a normal car to chase that without them correcting. And even if the car behind, even if the chase car was chasing that car, and if they corrected, we would have to blame the chase. We would have to blame the lead car for the chase car correction, because I mean, what is the chase car supposed to do behind that?
Exactly.
So I mean, unfortunate, but yes, we had to come up with that decision. Thank you for letting me explain that.
Good explanation there. But definitely rough getting a 0 out of that, especially the last run. But next we have number 7, Junji Yamamoto in his 2JZ FD Project 5X tire RX-7. Last time he spun out, so let's see if he can hold it. Definitely didn't get outer zone at all, outer zone 2 at all. Battling this car to push around to outer zone 3 and drag it all the way through. Throwing a huge flick into the touch and go, but being a little short for outer zone 4. See this replay right here. Coming in, initiating into outer zone 1, but not being able to get it all anywhere close to outer zone 2. Definitely this second go around for this qualifying is pretty rough. Throwing his challenges, but these drivers, they're trying to adapt and trying to conquer over this track. It's more the track than the car, I think, but hey, they're all on the same playing field at this point. Keep them clouds moving, that's for sure. Let's see.
Man, this condition is not making it easier for us either, because we have to look in carefully on the scores, but very not fluid, very low commitment on that run. Definitely not the best he can do, but maybe it is as of now because of the track conditions changing. But yeah, not much commitment in the run. The rate to angle going from initiation and the switchbacks very low, and also had a hard time connecting outside zone 3 to the touch and go. We had to dock him for that too as as a style judge. So that's the score he got. 52 was it?
Yeah, so 52. I mean, he got points on the board, but we'll see if it's going to put him in the top 32 for tomorrow's tandem battles. But moving on to number 448, Yoshia Saki right here in the Origin Labo Racing S15. Like we were talking about earlier, it's SR powered, about 360 horsepower, give or take, and ooh, not what he wants out of Zone 3, and that's definitely going to hurt him right there. But you can hear that he's trying to push that car to its limits right there.
He tried to use up 360 horses, every horse that he had, but right now it didn't seem like it was a horsepower thing where the track condition is really bad right now. He threw it in really hard. Big correction at outside zone 2, pretty much had to reinitiate and went off course. This is like a little bit beyond 3 tires on outside zone 3 too, so with the combination of things that he just did on the track and the correction, we would have to give him an incomplete for this run. Unfortunate for him, or fortunately, he has a score for his first run. He has 31 points on his first run.
Yeah.
So let's see, not 31 points,
31
I'm sorry,
points,
31
yeah,
points from the style side of it.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I don't have the total for the rest of the scores, but let's see where he's gonna be thrown into the top 32, in or outside, or the placement of the ladder. So we'll see how that goes.
So next we have number 31, Koida Sobagiri in the team Silent Tire 2026. Nice little old school flare right here, pushing through into.
And he initiated really early and threw it out.
Finishing off right here.
And that's obvious that we're going to have to give him an incomplete for that. There you go, the replay. He threw it, but couldn't keep on. So
very unfortunate right there for him. But yeah, his team was working hard getting that trans swap back in after he blew his transmission up yesterday. But it's good seeing him back because he missed last year, so it's good seeing him back. Like I said, the dynamics of these cars there's a lot of blend this year, so it's nice seeing that.
yeah, definitely one of my favorite cars out on the track. He scored earlier, so his second run was an incomplete. Let's see where he will be placed in or not in 32. I am not sure because I don't have the total score. So
the rain took all that away from us because it was pouring on all our papers, so we couldn't really get it thrown down. It's keeping the suspense up. That's what it is.
There you go, 444. Imamaida is just initiated. Dragged on the e-brake.
Coming in
slowing his car down. A little bit of a stall.
Ooh, and then outer zone 3 took him out right there. Man, very unfortunate. With his 5X tires, with his Navigate Hiskey KRC S14.
Wow, you really can't tell what part of the track is slick or not because it looks like it's kind of wet everywhere, but there's a lot of parts that are dry, and at the same time there's a lot of parts that are wet too, so it's going to come up and bite you in the butt when you think you're going in to a dry surface and all of a sudden it's wet. So I think that's what happened right there at the outside zone 3 for Imamaida, but he did have a score for his first run as well. So let's see where he will be placed for this weekend.
Yep, so next coming up we have number 808, Manabu Fujinaka in his 3-rotor RX-7 TCP Magic Good Ride FD.
新型マダム選手1本目、やはり83ポイントを持っています。
So yeah, like I was saying earlier, he's had this car for what, over 10 years. He's just continuously kept building on it. He went from a 2-rotor, 3-rotor, maybe 4 rotors in the mix, but he's definitely, like he said, he told us in the pits, he said he's a rotary fan. True and true.
Very nice car. Sounds really great. Let's see how he's going to do for the second run. Nice initiation, very smooth.
Sweeping around to outer zone 3. Getting as much as he can in outer zone 3, but maybe staying a little too long there. But let's see if he can hold through the touch and go. Woo! And finishing off strong right there in outer zone 4. Nice. He was able to hold that off from outer zone 3. I was kind of worried about that.
Hey, you know what? That was a lot of commitment, especially looking at the track conditions right now. And you know, everybody always says like FDs are very hard cars to drive, but he makes it look pretty easy because look at that. Nice amount of angle going through outside zone 1. Goes into outside zone 2 a little later, but definitely, here you go, fills outside zone 3. Kind of sticks with outside zone 3 a little longer than we would want him to, but at the same time, he does pull off right here. Barely gets into the touch and go, and looks like he finishes off outside zone 4 pretty clean with a lot of angle. So definitely a nice run for track conditions.
Sounds amazing too. So a real clean run right there. He definitely let his 3-rotor do its job and push through that course, wet or dry. So next up at the line we have number 283, Tsubasa Takizawa.
You know, I like those runs like what Fujinaka just did right now, but when they throw it and it looks like it makes you give you the feeling where it's like, oh, is he going to make it? Is he going to keep it, you know, within the track? And he didn't even dip a tire. I mean, he did come in to outside zone 2 a little late, but
still pulling that through and then
a lot
riding.
Of commitment.
But not only that, then right here, he even kept the suspense up by coming out of outer zone 3. He came out a little late.
Well, he filled it well, and he still made it all the way. So let's see what Takizawa has. Car number 283 and his initiation.
With his Zeknova Japan.
Oh, no.
Coming in, hold it. Oh, he was trying to come in reverse. So.
Oh, man, you know what? Oh, man, he just threw it away. I mean,
I know that was 2
he threw it in a lot of, he threw it in. Oh,
very unfortunate. He has a huge, obviously you can tell he has a huge livery change this year. He went from, he went to a gold color. Real sweet car. Awesome Mark II, but unfortunate that he couldn't hold that through.
Man, he went in really hard. I thought he had a score for his first run, but he did get an incomplete. And you would think that you would be a little bit more careful to land a score, but you know what? He said, you know, forget this. I'm just going to go in hard.
I'm gonna send it.
He just rolled the dice on that one.
He did. So next pulling up right now is number 41, Shinichi
Uemura. Shinichi Uemura.
By Team Hirano Tires.
Uemura Sangyo, IAS.
And the JZX 100 Chaser.
Uemura. I thought you were half Japanese. What's up with that? Here we go.
I got caught up there. So here he goes. Comes into outer zone 1. Gets a little bit late in outer zone 1. And outer zone 2 definitely missed the beginning portion of outer zone 2. And then trying to make up here in outer zone 3. But can he hold this stretch right here? Ooh, definitely... Definitely not what we want to see in that touch and go region of the track.
Yeah, we're going to have to evaluate this run because number one, it seemed like right here, kind of sloppy going out the outside zone 2, almost lost it late on the gas, and right here it looks like so talking about the straightening here in between the outside zone 3 and the touch and go again, yes, I don't want to say we allow it, but worst case scenario, if you're in between the turn, kind of shallowing up giving a little bit of a oomph to get into the touch and go, I understand. I clearly understand. But his case, he ended coming off outside zone 3, and that was one turn. Pretty much he drove a little bit of a distance going straight.
Yeah.
So
not even having a attempt for a drift right there.
I know it's very hard to connect this area from outside zone 3 to the touch and go, but you have to be a little bit more closer than how Uemura just did it. And there was too much of a long distance where he drove straight. We would have to give him incomplete on that one.
It's very unfortunate for him. Next is going to be number 58, Kazuhiro Kubo. His RPS S13 180SX. Go! No! Threw that away right there. This track condition, I'm telling you. I mean, y'all can see it too. It's definitely spicing it up for these drivers. Man, very unfortunate for him. So Kubo's car this year is pretty much the same setup as last year. Nothing really new, he said. Right there. Very unfortunate for a incomplete right there.
And I hate to say this just to get by. I mean, it's like you just have to get a score. And I mean, I'm not going to say that's like a manly way to do it or anything. And I'm not going to judge either, but it's tactics, you know?
Yeah.
The point of, you know, being in the show tomorrow, the qualify is part of it. You definitely want to be in for the top 32 battles. And I mean, I would do anything to be able to get into that because your weekend's going to end halfway. It's going to be ending today if you don't get a score on the board. And I think I already have, I already seen a good amount of double zeros.
This week there's not a lot of drivers definitely on the scoreboard. So here's number 168, Masayo Minoa with Heyman Products, TM Labo. JZX 100 Chaser. Not bad, pushing through out of outer zone 3 and see if she can hold it through this touch and go. Ripping all the way through, keeping that angle, and then really misjudging out of that touch and go right there. See the replay.
Have to watch the replay again. She did straighten a good amount in front of the judging stand or going to the touch and go, so it might be pretty severe. Just want to double check on that part. Yeah, so that was actually, that might be an incomplete because she already reached the pinnacle of the end of the drift, and it's not a connection because she started another one and it pretty much was a correction. So I would say that wouldn't be a correction from her coming out of the outside zone 3. That's more of a connection for her going into from the touch and go area. So it's a little different. I know it's very confusing, it's very hard, but we do have to look at this really carefully.
So next up we got number 80, Yuta Komatsu, Komatsu Racing, IS 350. He needs to put a score on the board right here. So let's see if he can get something down, get something on paper, and get in the scorebooks. Coming in outer zone 3, pushing through right here, throttling through to the touch and go.
Whew. It's like I was like the finish line.
Yeah. He almost made the same mistake as last time right there from that touch and go, and almost, I wouldn't say lost it, but almost, you know.
So it looked like he was committed after the first turn, but right around after the end of second outer zone, he lost a lot of the momentum, but he did play it off out here since it's all wet here. And it looks like he's very smooth, and the fluidity through here, even though he missed a touch and go there, he did make it work. So he got a score, which is a very, very big plus for him.
Had that scary little judder right there at the end. And then, like you were saying, all you have to do is pass that finish line. So those scorecards are going in. See what they have to say. 77 right there. That's about the middle of the pack. 70s is about the middle right now. So
not bad for this condition, yeah.
38-ish driver. So give or take.
I've already seen like about 6 to 7 double zeros.
So if you put in a score, then you're
pretty much
locked
after
in.
this, anywhere after this, if you have a score, you're in. So.
All right, here we go. Number 18 to 285.
We have a score.
Artis, nor the GRS 204 athlete right here, crown athlete right here, pushing through. Another different car, just like the last driver with the IS350, but like you said, he has a score, so he was trying to do a little bit more.
Yeah, but man, I gotta tell you one thing. I mean, looking at this car from the way it was last year, the way it was last year, the car looked like it had a lot of weight on it, and definitely pulling the weight out makes the car look like it runs. It's like a totally different car.
It's just crazy because this car it's one of those you don't see at the track too often or ever.
No, I don't think there's another 200 crown drift car in the world, so this might be the only one.
So that right there tells you, they had to do weight reduction, so they were going to take it out of the doors, and the only way they were able to do it was customizing their own doors or fabricating them themselves. So hands down on his builders for that, but
he got a score, so
that's good.
And I don't want to speak too soon because it's not like my calculation is correct, but having a score for your first run definitely is a big plus to get into the top 32. And now here we go. This is Mitsunori Yoshimura. He's sitting on incomplete too, so let's see what he can do for a second run.
Ooh. Kind of like a hesitation there into outer zone 2. Not quite feeling outer zone 3 at all, but let's see if he can carry it through all the way through the touch and go to outer zone 4. Couldn't get to the touch and go, and then took it real shallow into the transition to outer zone 4 right there. Not making it easy for the judges. Let's see this replay right here. Definitely rough. Right after this outer zone 1 right here, looks had a little hesitation. Missed outer zone 3. Then the touch and go, didn't get to the touch and go at all, and came in really sharp with no aggression to outer zone 4.
All right, well, looks like he is going to be getting a score, but I will say that it's probably not going to be in the higher bracket because of the way the driving was, but I won't blame him because the track conditions do look really hard. He got a 59 for his second run, but he did make it through and got a score. I mean, he was way off from the touch and go. He even had one tire gypped on the inside, which is on the complete opposite side of where we want him to be. But you know what? He made the right decisions where he just had to get a score in to make it for tomorrow instead of throwing everything away. I mean, very sloppy entry going from outside zone 1 to 2, wobbly. I will have to say that it's not an ideal run, but he did get a score.
Exactly. Not the best run of today. I mean, at the same time, not the lowest scored run either. So next coming up to the start line is number 770. It's going to be Yusuke Kusaba and the Team Cusco Racing A90 Supra, which many of you remember last year. Does have a sweet look to it, that big wing in the back, and then you can't miss it, Cusco right on the side. I think it looks slick.
Oh yeah, brand new car. Very exciting driver.
He's really starting to understand this car. Last year he kind of struggled a little, but man, now he's starting to get it. Let's see what he's got for us. Coming into outer zone 2. Coming out pretty strong into outer zone 3. We're just trying to get all of outer zone 3. And here we go right here. Push, dipped a few tires right there. Flicked it real early on that outer zone 4. Completely missed the outer zone 4, and he turned that into an inside clip.
Yes, he did. It looked like everything went wrong after he started dipping tires off after the outside zone 3 going to the touch and go. Let me go ahead and check out the replay as well. But right here, kind of a low commitment going into outside zone 1, but he's just taking it easy just to make sure that the car stays stable. Right here, outside zone 3, he fairly well fills that zone. And now the problem is after this, goes off tires, then the car throws crazy angle, and
he hit the inside clip. So we'll see what the judges have to say. Let's see. You got Hibino right there, checking it out. Giving us a high. Sitting in the number 1 spot right now, so definitely smiling from ear to ear. But we still got a little bit, about a third of the list coming up, so we still got a lot of driving left.
all right, so we are going to, he will be getting a score on that run, but definitely a lot sloppier than his first run. And I am blaming the track condition right now because, I mean, it looks like it's okay maybe on camera, I don't know, but when you look at it live, there's so many patches everywhere. So this is very unpredictable for the drivers.
So there you go, 60 for him. So like you were saying, not the best run he had, but hey, it's another score on the board, but his first run was a little better than that. So next on the line is going to be number 64, Yoshimi Mori in the Team Mori S15, powered by 2J. Like I was saying, this is our oldest driver right here, number 64. Let's see. So he had a 71 for his first score. So let's see who's going to throw down, see if he's going to push the limits right here, coming into outer zone 3. Leaving a little bit early, but hey, coming to,
Overcooked it and spun out after outside zone 3, but I mean, that area looks really, really
It's
slick.
a mixture, like it's wet there, but then right after it's dry.
Yeah.
So like right when he spun out is where it hits kind of like the dry spot where his front end caught the grip on it. But he had a 71, I think, for his first run, so not bad at all. So let's see. Next we have number 5 swinging around right now. Tomoki Tanaka in the V-Style Good Ride with Tetsujin JZX100 Chaser. So this is another one right here where his team had to like hurry up and get everything together, drop the trans, put a new one in because he broke his transmission during practice round. So hands down to his pit crew out there.
And he did really hard.
So let's see if he can give us something to put down for the scorebooks. And he's not messing around. Coming hot again, pushing through. Oh. He just came to play today.
Yeah, I mean, if that's your thing, yeah, but I mean, I wish he was a little bit more cautious, I guess.
And cautious, yeah.
Man.
Oh. Taking a little bit to get him off track right now, so might have some malfunctions after he had that course out right there. like I said before, he had to get a transmission swap done, so maybe that's probably the. So yeah, at the start line right now we got Tadahiro Fukada, but right now you can see on screen I think he's going to be getting towed back.
Yes, I don't know if it sounds like the car was trying to go.
Had some clanking going around too, so that's not a good sign.
Yeah.
But like I said, his crew had to get together to get a transmission redone or rebuilt, or not rebuilt, but thrown back in it. So who knows if it's the clutch, the trans, what it is in the car.
Well,
it's
it sounds
running
like
fine.
the car was trying to go, so maybe it's like an axle or something like that.
Oh yeah. Definitely pushed the car to its limits right there. Unfortunate that he couldn't put a score down, so he won't be moving on, unfortunately. Check out the new tow vehicle right there.
Yep, look at that
Woo!
high ace. That's kind of cool.
They ain't got those in the States. Look at that high ace right there.
Yep.
I've seen them at tracks as tow rigs, so it's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's a nice van.
I know. Nice little lift, like, level kit to it with some aggressive tires.
It's got the fire extinguishers in the back.
Boom. Oh, you'll see it here. So
There we go.
See it.
So unfortunately, that's 2 incompletes by Tomoki Tanaka from V-Style Good Ride with Tetsujin. Very unfortunate, very aggressive driver, as you can probably see. Oh, what's he doing? You gotta stay on the brakes and get towed away.
And yes, there is a tow truck on track if you're curious, but obviously the car's still driving and everything, so this is obviously quick and easy. Get him out of the way so we can get Tadahiro Fukada up and ready, but I think he's going to get some time to get his tires warmed up here soon.
Man, it's so tough. I mean, I just can't get over how bad the track condition is now with the wet and the dry. It's like, I would be crossing my fingers and be like, just dry up, or just start raining.
Just make your mind up.
Yeah, just do, I don't know, whatever, just rain, you know. So I'd like to thank all the officials and all the guys that are cleaning the track up right now, but he did, there's gravel all over the place, so they're going to clean the track up real quick. So let's go straight to our little break we have right here. We'll be right back after these messages.
Hey, いざという時にちゃんと止まれるタイヤ、ウェット A。 ウェット A。
ウェットグリップ性能 A のタイヤなら雨でもしっかり止まれて高い安全性を発揮。滑りやすい濡れた路面でもより
安心やる。
横浜革新のカーボンベゼル。Bluetooth 搭載 G-SHOCK カシオ。 Made in Japan. Breed.
What's up, guys? It's Frederick Ospo, and I use RSR suspension on all my drift cars. I love RSR. EO RSR Ichiban.
伝統と革新小倉クラッチのテクノロジーを凝縮チャンピオンを取るためのクラッチ小倉レーシングクラッチ ORC
The brightness called brilliant, blinding and vivid, Valenti.
ねえねえ、雨の日の運転ってちょっぴり心配だよね。いざという時にちゃんと止まれるタイヤ、ウェット A。 ウェット A。
ウェットグリップ性能 A のタイヤなら雨でもしっかり止まれて高い安全性を発揮。滑りやすい濡れた路面でもより
安心なやる。
横浜革新のカーボンベゼル。Bluetooth 搭載 G-SHOCK カシオ。 Made in Japan. Breed.
What's up, guys? It's Frederick Ospo, and I use RSR suspension on all my drift cars. I love RSR. EO RSR Ichiban.
伝統と革新小倉クラッチのテクノロジーを凝縮チャンピオンを取るためのクラッチ小倉レーシングクラッチ ORC
The brightness called brilliant, blinding and vivid, Valenti.
「
And we are back here at the G-Shock Presents Formula Drift Japan 2021 season opener, round 1 here at Suzuka Twin Circuit in the Mia Prefecture. Look at them skies. They're a little overcast, but man, it looks a lot more clear right now.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with your screen right now because that is not a blue sky, it's gray. With all this...
But if you're joining in with us, round 1 of qualifying, majority of it was all rain. Beginning of round 2, it stopped raining, but still had a wet track. And then right now, it's got the patches of dry, wet combination. So these drivers are really testing their skills on how they're throwing their cars into the zones and completing this track. But right now, at this point, we need scores on the board. We need to get this top 32 squared away. Too many double zeros we're getting.
Yeah, that the drivers, but let's see, this is another driver that already has a score, but this is Tadahiro Fukada. See if he's going to get a higher score after this one.
He goes with Tanaba SSR, Team Dunlop with Team Weld. Come in with a 100 Mark II. Pushing through, trying to make it last all the way through to the touch and go, and then, ooh. Definitely gave a hard transitional flick, but couldn't quite get to outer zone 4 right there. Let's see this replay right here. Like you were saying, he has a score on the board. Let's see if it'll push him up higher. Outer zone 2, didn't quite get all the way through outer zone 2, but started early in outer zone 3.
Just like his earlier run, he has really good fluidity, but definitely doesn't look as committed as his earlier run. But it looked like he was filling in some of the zones pretty well. So let's see what the score is going to look added together from the line, angle, and style.
See these scores. There you go, 80 right there. Good solid score right there. Nice. Good job. Got on that. So next we have 555 at the line. It's going to be Yukio Fausto with sideways experience. S15 powered by 2J. Like I said before, wanted to throw a shout out to his Brazil fans, which I see a lot of them on this chat right now. What time is it?
Sitting on incomplete. Definitely don't want him to be outside of the 32. And he flicks it.
Coming in.
Takes a smaller line in front of the outside zone 2. Feels outside zone 3. He is in the slick area, but he is through.
Coming in out zone 4. A little shallow in outer zone 4, but man, you could definitely see how outer zone 3 right there, how slick it still is. Here's a replay right here. Coming in, missed outer zone 2 right there, but then came into outer zone 3 early right there, coming all the way through, finishing it all the way. Here's where it gets tricky. That touch and go right there. And then finishing off a little shallow in outer zone 4. Man, 425 in the morning. Here's a little overview right there. Just missed outer zone 2 right there, but he's able to get all of outer zone 3. Coming out, but I don't know if staying in outer zone 3 too long kind of messed him up. There's a touch and go, was able to get there. And then barely missing, or just missing outer zone 4 right there. But
yeah, that was not a clean run by Yukio Fausto. But to be able to get a score on the board right there, he got 71 points.
So he's like right at the middle, bottom of the mix. So not bad. Definitely good to get a score because that first one he had was definitely a washout. So
yeah, like we were talking about earlier, the straightening in front of the judging stand, it was very minimal too, but at the same time it happened at the pinnacle of the end of the outside zone 3 drift going to the touch and go. But we definitely had to dock him for a lot on the score. He did get a score, so
next we have number 93, Monkey go in his JZX 100 Chaser. Real shallow into outer zone 1 and didn't even get to outer zone 2 right there. Not sure if he was anticipating a dry spot or what, but coming through out of outer zone 3 and trying to push and make things happen to get to outer zone 4 right there. With this huge change in the track right now, it's throwing these guys off in this outer zone 1 and 2. Let's see this replay.
Very shallow, right to angle at the initiation. Missed outside zone 3, way offline. Right here.
He was definitely struggling for zone space. See what the judges have to say. You got Amagai getting his tires warmed up. We're waiting for these judges to get their scores in. See what kind of points he's going to put on the board. Let's get another view right here, another replay view of it. Not too aggressive on that initiation, and outer zone 2 didn't even get anywhere close to it. Same with outer zone 3. Kind of threw him off here, which he came a little late out of outer zone 3 and caused him to throw his line off for that touch and go to the outer zone 4. Here's another overview. This is actually a better view right here. You can see how much of the zone he missed right there. And then our zone 3. Not easy for the judges for sure. Probably the longest part of qualifying is right here when the judges get something like that, a little run like that, where it's very on that fine line of is it a zero or is it an actual run? Especially not being able to hit all those zones and then having that area where you kind of fumbled it. What's up? There you go.
All right, so let me go ahead and explain that incomplete. When I was explaining earlier about the pinnacle of where the outside zone 3 drift ends and begins the touch and go to the last half of the drifting, it was a lot earlier. He straightened out a lot earlier than that. Didn't really give it any effort for the car to keep drifting because he kind of drove straight through here without any kind of drift or any kind of burnouts as well. So it looked like he finished his turn here in the drift. And it wasn't like he shallowed up. It pretty much just, he had to drive a little bit straight through. Now, comparing to some of the other drivers that drove through here, they were straightened out a little bit later and they were giving it more effort. Let's look at right here. So he kind of stops drifting right here, right there, and then the car drives for a little bit. Then he reinitiates. It's a little different from when the car is coming out of a drift. How can I say it? It's almost like the contact point from 1 to 2.
And then from the start, it got sloppy, especially if he was the lead run right there. Not even being able to hit the zones like he's supposed to. Could have definitely thrown the chase off, and then right there on the straight could have caused something more extreme as a collision or whatever else.
Yeah, well, I mean, overall, yes, it was not a clean run, but at the same time, we have to take that in consideration, and I really think that the straightening happened a little bit earlier, closer to the outside zone 3 than some of the other cars that actually almost looks like it happened, or almost the same thing happened, but actually got a score, but they got docked a lot harder.
Closer to the touch and go, that's what you're saying.
Exactly.
Yeah, I get it, Shane.
because that's what we allowed. But I mean, the straightening basically happened right here, right after the rumble strip on the left side. So yeah, unfortunate, but.
So that was a pretty tough judge for Robbie and the crew. So Amagai's going to go ahead back to the box to get his tires warmed back up.
Yeah, and we have to stay consistent too. And I mean, there's looking at this weekend and the qualifier. There's a couple of cars that were straightening here and there were different points. You know, there were some cars that were straightening right before outside zone 3. And like I said, this stretch right here in front of the judging stand is a critical point where if you straighten out a little bit too early, you're driving a good amount of distance going towards a touch and go. So you can't even say you're connecting 2 drifts to 1. It's like a drift, then straight, then a drift, you know?
Exactly, huge separation between the two. So.
Yeah.
So we got Amagai out there getting his tires warmed up in his nice new livery setup.
Hey, there you go.
What's going on? Oh, right when we noticed.
Yeah, they're like, don't show your ugliness.
They don't even give us a warning like, hey.
We're going to cut you off, yeah. But yes, we are out here at the Twin Circuit. This is the first round. I was really excited to come out here because, you know, once again, I'm missing out going to the States to join the guys in the States. Many of you might be sleeping, but hi to the FDUS crew and all the drivers and the teams. We are here and alive.
Yes, thank you for tuning in. Atlanta was awesome last week.
Yep. And I loved it because it happened like
perfect timing for us. Yes.
8, 9 in the morning. You know,
exactly.
It was like I got up, I was eating breakfast, drinking my coffee, and watching some drifting. That was nice.
And here we go. We got Yuichi Amagai in his 2JS15 coming through. Ooh, holding it through, coming back around, kicking it back to outer zone 3. Nice transition to outer zone 3. Let's see if he can carry it all the way through. Oh! And right there, that was kind of obvious right there where the rumble strip was. Definitely real early, and he definitely had to straighten up.
Hey, but I have to tell you, up until after outside zone 3, that was very exciting because there was a lot of aggression. The rate to angle was pretty good. Deep angle going through there. Fills the zones very well, or fairly well. Leaves outside zone 3. It looked like he set himself up really nice, but it started to wash out, and it looks like he gave up because he probably knew that he wasn't going to make it.
Yeah.
Because this is one of the harder parts of the track. And I think it's due to, I mean, I can't visually see that.
That outer zone
part,
right
it looks
there.
like it's slick, then all of a sudden it just grips right up. And I think that's what's throwing a lot of the drivers off.
From our view, coming out of outer zone 3 into the straightaway, it goes from wet to dry. So I don't know if that's it actually is like that or what, but definitely is a critical area that these drivers are struggling on. So next we have number 963, Daichi Mizutani, and his SR powered S15.
Whoa.
Miss outer zone 3, but see if he could keep it under control to finish off.
Oh no.
No. Man, oh man.
Man, I know he was struggling to get through and he did not want to straighten the car out that much. But I think the whole line being off outside zone 1 and 2 pretty much shot him out a little bit too wide right there at outside zone 3, and he got into the slick area, couldn't get himself out. It ended up becoming super shallow line on the touch and go.
So we got an incomplete right there. Very
Man.
unfortunate.
That's another double incomplete for this qualify session this weekend.
So coming up to the line right now is 666 Shuichi Mano in his Chari Boy style with Vitor tires. S13 powered by a 2J. Like we said before, has new livery on his car. Same car, new livery. Ready to make things happen. Coming into outer zone 1. Ooh, hold it. Holding it through to come to outer zone 3, but definitely taking a shallow line, real shallow line. Ooh, just got, after that little reverse entry he had, just got real sloppy after that.
So, for those of you who watch a lot of FD, probably very familiar with the way the track is laid out. But yes, the earlier area of the judged section of the track, the line of it definitely has a lot to do with the rest of the track too, because when you come in with the wrong line and the wrong commitment in the beginning of the track, it's going to set you up really bad for the rest of the track. So it's going to be very, very hard for you to be able to finish the track and get a high score. So like this driver in earlier, when you come in too shallow with outside zone 2, that's basically going to kind of throw you out to the wider area on outside zone 3, which is where you definitely don't want to go to. Right now it looked like Mono was way too on the inside, but it was
All right, so let's see what number 13 Takaki has to do for us in his 180SX. Oh!
and the cone went spinning and spinning.
Let's see this replay right here. Threw it in real hard and just couldn't get it back right there. Oh.
You see all that smoke? That's from the burnout box. And
That's Kenji Yamada, 888-888.
he needs to save his tires for the run. There's a lot of smoke out there now.
I know. And it's crazy because that's SR right there.
Yeah.
2.1 liter SR right there in that S15.
Yeah. So Takaki got an incomplete for that run, spun out, went off onto the outside zone 2, but he does have a score for the first run, so he will be in for tomorrow's tandem, top 32.
So here we go, 888. Kenji Yamada.
So this is another exciting driver. Let's see what he's going to pull off.
Kind of missed a little bit of outer zone 1, but definitely trying to hold through outer zone 2 and carry it through outer zone 3. I'll give him this. He definitely controlled his throttle coming out of outer zone 3 and made it actually last through.
Okay, so it looked like he was off. There you go. His rear end didn't come out that much. He had to make a huge correction in outside zone 2, dipped a tire, knocked over the cone, left outside zone 3 early. This might be his tactics to be able to connect here, but right here he had a hard time going through to connect outside zone 3 to touch and go. Then it looked like he went a little too wide on the outside at the end of the outside zone 4. So I would say a very sloppy run from Yamada. He will get a score in for this, but I would have to say his first run probably was better.
Here's a little drone footage right here. You can see how he, outer zone 2 wasn't too bad, but right here, let's see.
He leaves a little bit early, yeah. But then this is a good line to take for cars that can't
carry it all the way through.
Yeah. But very, how can I say it? Very choppy, not so smooth.
See what the score is. 38 right there. Like you said, he did score better on his last run.
What happened? I didn't give him a 0.
Oh. What a mean judge.
No, I gave him a 28 for style, and I don't know what happened.
So yeah, the track layout, I know somebody was talking about it earlier, but if you look at the, what is it, the FD track, what does it relate to?
The St. Louis track.
There you go, St. Louis track. But the only difference is Outer Zone 3 is actually an inside clip. And I know somebody mentioned, oh, shouldn't Outer Zone 3 be an inside clip? This just makes it even more challenging. There you go, 66 for his score.
Better, right?
A lot better, yeah. So yeah, it does add a little spice to the track, and then make the drivers, you know, commit a little bit more and push their limits pretty much. So next we have number 125, Yoshichika Tamagawa, and his JZA80 Supra. So coming through the start, coming 3, 2, 1. Getting a little bit into Outer Zone 1, swing. Ooh, sweeping hard into Outer Zone 2 and just.
Oh, he beat it too. Yeah, he DB'd his right rear tire, I believe.
Oh.
Yeah, so he went a little too hard. Now, this track is a little, how can I say, it's a little tricky where you cannot flick the car hard and go in. You have to kind of let it hang out and ride outside zone 1 and kind of slide it and make how can I say, a bigger circle, bigger radius from 1 to 2 because a lot of guys would throw it in hard, car would dart in a little bit, so they end up later on outside zone 2. And once you're later on outside zone 2, that means you're getting a little deeper going towards outside zone 3, which puts you on a bad line there too. So
and then you have to try to correct and then slow down a little bit to push through.
Exactly. So yeah, you definitely want to be on the right line for this track. And a lot of the guys try to go in hard, but I think it's a little bit off calculation when they just throw the car and, you know, dart right in.
So we're coming into our final 7 drivers. Coming up is number 17, Jin Horino, and his Good Ride Team Tops Racing with Project Mu S15.
So I mean, other than being a little careful around outside a little bit after outside zone 3, I would actually say, hey, it's almost pretty much dry.
Oh, yeah. Here we go right here. Jin Horino coming into Outer Zone 1. A little shallow in Outer Zone 1, but coming into Outer Zone 2, trying to hold it through to come to Outer Zone 3 right here. Kind of bailed out of Outer Zone 3 a little bit early, but hey, making things happen for the touch and go to finish off strong in Outer Zone 4. See this replay.
Missed outside zone 2, left outside zone 3, like early, midway. Shallowed up really hard here. There you go. Yeah, that was an area that was okay, but didn't make it out to the touch and go too much as well.
You can see the dirt track. This place also has a dirt track off to the side. Here you go. Totally missed Outer Zone, just like the end of Outer Zone 2 and leaving real early to Outer Zone 3. And then finishing off right here, barely getting into Outer Zone 4 right there. Track definitely does have its challenges. There you go, 73 on the board for him. Not a bad score. So next we got number 90, Shinji Minowa. So he definitely needs to do something on the board for this run. But Shinji Minowa with Heyman Products, TM Labo, Cylune tires.
We have two, let's see, 2, 4. We have 6 more drivers left. 2 of them are sitting on an incomplete, so they have to get a score, or they're going home early this weekend. And I think
That's pretty nerve-wracking.
We're probably sitting at around 30 cars at the moment. Hopefully, that's going to be in the top 32. So we're going to have a couple buy runs, but here we go.
So let's see if he's going to play it safe or he's going to be aggressive.
Low. Oh, very safe run.
Definitely wanted to put a score on the board right there. Very, very safe run.
Well, very, very low commitment.
Yeah, we usually see a lot of commitment out of Shinji's car, or out of him driving his car, but like you said, coming in with a 0, knowing that, hey, putting points on the board can't get him in top 32, it's one of those things where he kind of sacrificed to make it happen so he can really show his flair in top 32 with tandeming. Yeah, let's see what these scores are going to come out with. Here's a drone footage of the replay. So he had outer zone 1 pretty good. Was in outer zone 2. Could have been a little bit deeper. Same with 3, left real early and was barely in it.
Missed barely got even anywhere close to the box of the touch and go. But overall, very low energy run. Not so much commitment, and you know what? He was just going for, I guess, getting a score. Yep. So, I mean, the plan worked out.
Exactly. Got a 69, so, you know, ultimately that's what he needed, especially with a 0.
Exactly. So now we have another driver sitting on an incomplete, and he definitely does not want to go home early.
61, and this 2J powered S15 right here. Oh, but like we were saying before, this is a little bit. Oh, outer zone 2 is horrible coming out of outer zone 3. Oh. Didn't play it as safe as Noah, but that was a rough run right there. Let's see this replay. So he missed outer zone 2, and then outer zone 3 left real early and was barely in it. Corrected right there. Didn't get to the touch and go. Just throttled through, hit outer zone 4, but that's definitely a rough one right here. You'll see a better view right here. This is going to be the view that you'll really see how much he missed outer zone 2. And just didn't see, he didn't carry it over, which threw his line off for outer zone 3. And then right here, boop, that dipped back the other direction. So definitely a rough run right there. So scores are getting put in right now.
Yep. And once again,
incomplete.
There you go. We got an incomplete. Let me go ahead and explain that one too. That was a unchaseable lead pretty much because number one, he shot in way too inside, way away from outside zone 2. Pretty much almost straight beelined it from the inside of the track going to the outside zone 3. And even if he had slightly shallow angle going to outside zone 3, after that, once again, he straightened up earlier on the section of this stretch that we have in front of the judging stand, and he had to reinitiate. So just overall, it was very, very sloppy, and I can't. All of us are watching it as, you know what, that would be a horrible lead run, and chase car won't be able to chase it, so we're going to have to give it a unchaseable lead.
Yeah. Definitely was a rough run right there. Gonna let Katsuhiro Ueo, which is number 15, go warm his tires back up. But hey, speaking of tires, let's give some shout outs to some of these tire sponsors out here. We got Zeknova, we got Vitor Tires, Sailun Tires, 5X Tires, sorry, Valino Toyo Tires, Goodride, Goodyear, Dunlop, Potenza, Bridgestone, and Yokohama.
Yeah, it's definitely a hard condition to drive on right now. And we are seeing Hayashi back into the pits right now, and I am pretty sure he is not happy because that was 2 incompletes in a row. And
all right, number 15, Katsuhiro Ueo is ready to go. The Lino Tires S15 VR38.
so let's see. This is exciting, guys.
I know. I might not have to talk through this because I don't think they'll hear me coming up.
Oh!
Oh, now he's just going to throw it out there. There you go.
I would have to say it was very exciting until outside zone 2.
I think you over-anticipated the dryness. Man, he came in hot though right there.
Yes, he did. And I was like getting scared what he's going to do after outside zone 3 because there was a lot of load on those rear tires.
Yeah. He went ahead and shut down and called it right there.
Mm-hmm.
But he had a good first score, so he's going to be pushing on.
Yeah, he was high 80s, I think. Yeah,
he was. So
yeah.
he'll be pushing on.
And I think the rest of the drivers right here, the top 3 of last year, is going to be Andrew Gray, Kazumi Takahashi, then Koichi Yamashita. They all have high 80s. So now we're just going to kick back to see what kind of score they can get for their second one. Are they going to do something exciting? Are they going to show us something amazing? Right now, I think we have Hibino sitting on the top spot right now with the 94.
Yes.
Right? Yeah, so
let's see if they can
these-
either
yeah.
beat him or... Here we go. We got number 100 Andrew Gray right here with Team Kazama and Power Vehicles. See what he's going to do right here. Coming out of outer zone 2, pushing it. Nice. Now ripping through outer zone 3, getting all of outer zone 3, and right here's where he's going to push the limits. Oh, had to correct a little bit right there, but push it through. Oh! And save himself.
Just as you were saying, I think that's where Ueo just gave up as well when he was coming out of the outside zone 3, but definitely right there.
They're
coming. It's still slick there.
Yeah.
Going to a dry, like that's just.
But now we're starting to see
Right
this
there,
smoke.
like I was excited to see what was going to come, but right here he got washed out, and then all of a sudden it looked like the rear tires hooked up because, yeah, it's dry right there,
Yeah.
and I would say it's really hard. I mean, there's no way you can tell unless.
So if you look at the track,
You
there's
try
a
driving
berm
it,
on
yeah.
the inside and then outside, so it's almost protected to prevent it from getting dry. Because right now we got a nice breeze going, so it's kind of drying some of the surface area of the course, but that zone right there isn't getting any love, so that's definitely an area that's going to be rough. Right there you got Hayashi on the screen finding out about his score.
Yeah, it's
Definitely not an
it's
easy
a
pill to
shame
swallow.
Yeah, I mean,
But like you said, this isn't a vehicle that he's like normally running, so
yeah, I believe not. I think this is a car that was driven by a different driver last year, and now he's driving it. And they said for next season they're building a car, so Let's see how well he can get adapted to this car for the rest of the year, and I'm excited to see what he's going to be in for next year too. But yeah, this weekend is done for him from both the England fleets.
Very rough. But next we have number 36, Kazumi Takahashi in the TMS Racing Team Silent Tire 1GR BMW E92.
Who is going to get the top spot for the qualified today? Throws the car in hard, a lot of angle. It gripped up a little bit. He had to yank on the e-brake again.
See how this goes right here?
Man, definitely exciting, but not as clean as it should be because, I mean, the track condition is getting worse and worse and worse where it's slippery and super dry. I mean, the borderline of it is like how can I say, it's hard to tell, I guess.
Yeah.
Like right here, then it's gonna all of a sudden grip up. There you go. You see all that white smoke coming out of this tire. But until then, it's like completely no smoke.
These conditions are crazy.
That's gotta be rough. But there was a lot of commitment right there on that run, so.
It's just a little taste of what we were having during practice runs with how much smoke these guys are throwing out.
Yeah.
Here you go. Here's another view. Another aerial view. He had outer zone 1 and outer zone 2. He took a little bit too much out of the back end of outer zone 2. And then outer zone 3, real shallow, left a little early. Bam, you see that right there? Like you were talking about, that little bit of grip right there. And then finishing off, skimming on our zone 4. There you go, 75, which is about the middle of the mix for scores. But he'll be pushing on. So next we have last year's champ, number 8, Koichi Yamashita, in Team Wells JZX 100 Mark II with a sweet new wide body kit.
Car looks good.
It does.
It's really aggressive. And now see if he can drive it to its full potential now, where we have a lot of dry and wet spots randomly laying out here on the track. Here at round 1 by last year's champ.
Sweeping through outer zone 1 to outer zone 2. Getting a good portion of outer zone 2. Trying to start off early in outer zone 3 and taking all of outer zone 3. Pushing all the way into the touch and go. To drag out to come into outer zone 4 right there. And if we could have started qualifying now,
then we would have had a smoke show.
Okay, exactly. But the commitment levels would have been way more extreme. But let's see right here.
Yeah, it looked like he flicked it out harder and it came out a little bit more than he was expected. So it looked like it was a surprise attack for him. But right there, a little bit wobbly, but you know, knowing the track conditions,
spot, right?
Yeah, but he had to go in a lot. He couldn't get out to the touch and go that much. So comparing it with the wet runs, I believe that his wet run earlier would probably be scored higher.
See what his scores is, but yeah, it looks like the weather kind of gave us a little bit of a show for the last part of that. There you go, an 80. For the last part of the round 2 of qualifying. But tomorrow's going to be very interesting, especially with people that got knocked out, but there you go right there. Tetsuya Hibino right there, smiling ear to ear. Pulling off the number 1 slot.
Yeah, I mean, that's very impressive. First FD Japan full season. And there you go, the team owner.
Right there. Taking in the number 1 right there. That is very impressive. Coming out with a new car, new build, a lot of horsepower. It's awesome on him. It's awesome on Liberty Walk with their sweet S15 that they got.
Yeah, so they came in and just swooped up the first place spot for the qualify. And I think it's probably official. It might be unofficial, but then yes. And the whole team out, Team Liberty Walk is out here, as you see. We'll be doing... Say congratulations.
これ入ってんの？入ってる？入ってる。はいはい。
Like microphone
ありがとうございます。
Thank you very much.
とっても嬉しいです。
雨が降ったり止んだりのコンディションでしたが、いかがでしたか？
正直コンディションはすごく難しかったですね。で、自分が今日心がけたのは、やりたいことをやるんじゃなくて、できることをするっていう。そこにもう集中しましたね。はい。すみません、ちょっと本当に。
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure that from the action, you can see the enthusiasm. And how happy the team is.
特に僕ができることってそんなにまだないんですよ。なんでかっていうと、車が普通に走るようになって間もないんで、もうそこまでやっと走れるようになったっていうだけですごく今嬉しいんですよ。なんで今できる走りをね、明日もみんなに見てもらって、でそれでも勝ちにつながればラッキーかなっていう、そういう感じで欲張らずに明日もいい走りしたいと思います。はい。
予選1位通過おめでとうございます。
ありがとうございました。明日も頑張るぞ。
Sorry about that volume, not being able to get the volume and the translation in there, but definitely his team is excited. Congratulations to his team on taking #1. And I know he's very thankful, and as you could tell, he was thanking his team for supporting him and making sure he has a nice, smooth car to drive out there.
Yeah, so you saw Mr. Kato from Liberty Walk. He looked really excited. He had the cone on his head and everything, so he is having a good time out here. Even though the weather is bad, the team made it up to the top spot. This is a first. This is the debut of their car at a competition, and also Hibino being in Formula Drift. Japan, this is the first time he's going to be in for the full season, so I'm really looking forward to how this team is going to be shaping out to be in the series for the 2021 season. But before we get to that, we still have the top 32 coming up tomorrow, and they're in the top spot. And it looks like they're going to be getting a buy run because there's a couple of cars that didn't make it into the top 32. So if we don't have a full 32 car bracket, the top car is going to start getting buy runs. So I think they're definitely going to be going into the top 16 from the get-go. They just have to make sure that they have a clean run for their, or as long as they have a buy run and they can tell that their car is going to be working for the competition. But
so yeah, tomorrow's going to be real exciting. Hopefully,
man, you know what? Just rain right now until tomorrow morning. Get it over with. Get dry, so we could see a lot of smoke and excitement out here in the new track, because this new run-up over here is definitely cool. It's something cool. When we were watching the practice earlier, it was like super exciting.
And it has its fair share of challenges for these drivers, so it's going to be definitely something challenging for them with the lead and chase runs. So we didn't see too many practice runs with lead and chase, so it's definitely going to throw a little wrench in the mix. So we'll see how it goes tomorrow, but make sure you stay tuned to us tomorrow. We really do appreciate you all that stayed up late all around the world to view this and check us out. And yeah, we can't thank y'all enough. And then hopefully tomorrow we'll have a lot more drone footage too. With this rain, it kind of played its part. But
thank you guys. Thank you for tuning in, and we will see you tomorrow. We'll see you tomorrow right here, right at Suzuka Circuit. Thank you.